Welcome back to the channel, and this is what we'll be talking about in this video. So, although the style of the video will seem a bit more like it's made using the ideology of a scrapbook, right, having bits and pieces being cut and put together, I hope that just like a scrapbook, um, you will see the value in this video, and I'm just happy to share my knowledge with you in whichever way, shape, or form. So at the end of the day, if you learn something, that's a win for me. So after this introduction portion, you'll be watching a video that was recorded as part of an online course that I made. So if you like it, do check out my course. I'll have the link in the description, and you can see the link too at the bottom of this video together with my YouTube and Instagram socials. Alright, so enough with the introduction, and let's get started. So with that, then let's talk about the cosine rule. So after we cover sine rule, the next formula that can be used for all triangles is your cosine rule. So a very quick one, using the same triangle as just now. This is your cosine rule formula. So the same as sine rule, cosine rule can be used to find length as well as to find angle. So when we are finding length, I will let the length that I want to find be A. Alright, so similar to the cosine rule, there's flexibility in labeling A, B, or C, but the length and the angle must be opposite to each other to be called the same. So this, in this case, let's say I'm finding, let's say I'm finding this length now, right? Um, what will happen is that I'll call this length A, and this angle will be angle A. So notice I've changed the names for the length and the angle, and this is fine when you're jumping from sine rule to cosine rule and later on to your half AB sine C. I can change the names for the length, but do note that the length and the angle that are opposite to each other must be the same name. That's the thing that you need to take note of. Now with that, over here, what I'll do is to find A, I'll use my cosine rule. So I've actually chosen to have this as my length B and this as my angle B. So over here, B square. Then we've previously found this length to be 11.7, so I'm going to use it for C. So that's C square. And 2BC, so 2BC is 2 times B times C. And then cosine 30, why cosine 30 is because over here, this is now my angle A. So if you take 180 minus 100 minus this 50, you'll get this angle to be 30. So cosine 30. Alright, so the rest is just putting this whole thing into your calculator and you will get this value to be your A square. So to get your A, you still have to square root it. So after square rooting, you will get the positive as well as the negative answer. So we'll write both, but we'll reject this because length cannot be negative. So now I found A to be my 7.61 cm 3SF. Alright, so that's how you use the cosine rule to find a length. Okay, so using cosine rule to find angle is also possible. Let me show it to you real quick over here. So realize that I'm using the same cosine rule, right? But to find angle, what will happen is that I have to make this the subject of equation. So I have to make cosine angle A the subject of equation. So that's why I'll have to move all these terms over first. So b square over here will become negative b on the other side. C square over here, positive c square, will move over to become negative c square, right? And you can see over here. So what happens is that after I get this, I will try to get rid of the negative 2bc. So how to get rid of the negative 2bc? I divide by negative 2bc. So wherever you want to get rid of something that is multiplied to each other, you can get rid of it by dividing the exact thing that you want to get rid of. So here, it will be gone, right? So whatever you do to the right side of the equation, you have to do to the left side of the equation for it to be equal. So over here, we divide by negative 2bc as well. And you see that's how I end up with this. All right, so if you understood this, we have actually made your cosine angle A the subject of equation, although it's on the right side. So flip it around and you will get this. So this is the formula that we will use to find the angle using cosine rule. All right, so this is the formula we will use to find angle using cosine rule. And what we will do is we will try to find my angle A, this one. Okay, so notice earlier, if I want to use cosine rule to find length, so just now I was trying to find this length, right? I will need to have the length of the other two, as well as I need to have this angle that is sandwiched between these two lengths. So I want you to take note of the shape of this structure. So this is an interesting structure to take note of. The two lengths and the angle sandwiched in the middle. For cosine rule, to use it to find length, you need to have this structure. It may not always look like this, it could look like this, right? But as long as you have two lengths, as long as you have two lengths and the angle sandwich in the center, you can use the cosine rule to find this other length that is not highlighted. Okay, so there's just a quick one on how to use cosine rule to find length. And why am I saying this, right? The reason for saying this is because the telltale sign that you can use cosine rule to find an angle is actually if you have the length of all three sides of the triangle. If you have the length of all three sides of the triangle, you can use it to find an angle. Just bear in mind the angle that you want to find has to be called angle A. So therefore, in this case, right, we are finding this angle. So this angle is called angle A. So as a result, this length here, this 7.61, will have to be called length A because it's opposite to the angle. It's opposite to this angle A. Okay, so putting that into my formula over here, I'll have 7.61 square. So this is my A. And I conveniently chose this to be B. So it's B square. And then 15 square. So 15 is actually my C over here. So notice I've changed the alphabets a little again. But that's all fine and good because remember, the key thing to take note of is that the angle and the length that is opposite to each other must have the same name. But as you go ahead and you change from sine rule to cosine rule, or even like just now, we are using cosine rule to find length. Now we are using cosine rule to find angle. I can change the names again just to use the formula. So over here, I have this length, I let this length be B, and let this length be C, and this length is A. So that's why you will see 11.7 here in the place of B square, and you will see 15 square here in the place of C. So then negative 2BC, right? And then put this whole thing into your calculator, you get this. And then to get angle A, you just have to do a cosine inverse to get rid of this cosine over here. All right. And with that, you will have used the cosine rule to find your angle A. And you can check it's actually 30 degrees. So previously we realized that this is 30 degrees because 100 minus 180 minus 100 minus 50, right, is 30 degrees. All right. So that is the cosine rule.
Thank you for watching till the end of the video, and I hope that you have learned something. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like and comment on one thing that you like about the video, right? Also, please help to share this video and subscribe to the channel because that will really help me a lot, and your support means the world to me. So if you don't like the video, no worries. Comment and let me know what you didn't like about it so that I can improve and I can change in the next few videos. All right, so that's it. Thanks all, and I'll see you in the next video.